lot of show specials of comedy, of comedians. I mean, we'll be pointing at the likes of Trevor Noah. We'll be pointing at the likes of, I would say, who might be your favorite comedian? Who is your favorite before we introduce our guest for today?
No, I don't have one. I think it depends on where I am in life. No, it depends where I am in life. No, because you know that those times where you need some dark humor. Yeah, and then there are times where you just need something light. You don't need to think too much about it. But there's some whereby like it's a thread from the first joke they say to the last one. There's a... And you're like, oh, I get it. So it depends.
I can pinpoint a few, so I'm going to start. I do love Trevor Noah. I do love Dave Chappelle. I do love Eddie Griffin. I do love, oh my God, there are a lot.
See, that's the thing, you can't name
Bernie. Oh my God, there are a lot. I can't even pinpoint, but there are a lot. So comedy is what drives us and to be happy most of the time, because we want to laugh about certain things. Sometimes people laugh about their trauma, which is crazy. Now, we are joined in the studio by Mwanachingwala, who began building his profile through stand-up, performing at live shows such as his Zambia Shall Be Shaved comedy night, where he uses humor, including self-jokes of how he looks like, and to explore social and national issues as well. He has actively shared comedic content on platforms like Facebook, Instagram, especially Facebook. If you follow him, yeah, he's doing a lot of things with his family as well. And he posts a lot of things on his social media. Beyond traditional stand-up, he's recognized as a professional host and MC at live events, blending comedy, storytelling, and audience interaction, which is part of how he earns income in the entertainment sector. And ladies and gentlemen, we are joined in the studio by the one and only Mr. Mwanachingwala. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
Well, we hope the journey was worth it.
It was. At least there's no traffic on this end. It's before 10 miles. So,
you live on this end.
I live on this end, so there's no traffic on this end at least.
Okay.
Sure.
I love how you usually have so much fun with your family on social media. And I've seen people who are so skeptical with putting out their family, saying that, social media can be a bit toxic.
But whatnot. Well, I think for me, really, I call that my relief, right?
Okay.
Yeah, like life as it is stressful, and you need to have an outlet. So playing with my kids, dancing around, that's really my relief. I know I'm old school in my own way. I also believe you don't put kids out there carelessly. So if you follow my content, I'm very particular about what I post. I pretty much allow you to see what I want you to see. Yeah, and there's very deeper aspects of my family life that would never get to social media. But yeah, so the light-hearted stuff, I think it's okay.
That's what we get to see.
Yeah, that's what we get to see.
And sometimes we've heard of stories, oh, you're funny, you know what, you should be a comedian, but some never do pursue it. Let's start at the beginning. When did you first realize to say, I think comedy might be something I can do for a living?
Okay, so my journey in the arts starts from a long time, I was born of parents who were lecturers of expressive arts.
Okay.
Yeah, so both my mother and father were lecturing expressive arts. That's Chipata Teachers Training College. Yeah, so I pretty much grew around artists. Yeah, they were lecturers of music, art. My father was one of the founders of NATAZ, National Arts Theatre Association. At some point, he even had a Ngoma Award named after him. There was a film on Mwanachingwala Award at some point. So I grew up with dramatists. Yeah, what I do now is what we would do. My father would dance with us. He would play drums, do that. So it's something that I really grew around. And then as far back as primary, I tried to play around skits, you get into primary school, there's a drama club, you throw. I always joke about my first row being a table, like I was just in there, people are going to be eating on you, like it also, I was at table. Then went on with it into secondary school. I was at Canisius High School, where I did a lot of drama, becoming president of the drama club by 10th grade, I think. Did that all the way up to the University of Zambia, where I just got into Unza Drums. Unza Drums is famous for, there's a show we do annually called the Kojo Kamso Campus.
Okay.
It starts from way back, and that's where I actually started beginning to pick the humorous side, take it more serious. So I would do it for fun. Yeah, like I would do humor effortlessly. I ask my friends in secondary school. I would imitate every teacher.
Wow.
I knew every teacher's voice, and I would do that. I was very good with voice impressions. I still am. I've suppressed that part, but I do quite well on that. You go to a football game, I'll be the Waza guy and whatnot. I'll be the guy dancing around. So Onza more became the defining moment, because now I got to start doing close to scripted art, because Kojo Comes to Campus has a scripted side of it. It's freestyle, but it also has a stand-up comedy element, because it's pretty much two people talking to people for over 1 hour, 30 minutes.
Sure.
Yeah, and so did that a bit, and I think I got to like it. The icing on the cherry was when Dr. Chilala, a lecturer at the University of Zambia, he's one of Zambia's best writers. He does write a lot of plays.
Yes.
He gave us a challenge. I'd never done something scripted end to end. He gave us a play, I think it's called Waiting for Harvest, something, an amazing political, satirical play, where we dug into it. It was a 2-man script.
Okay.
Yeah, with just a few supporting acts, and having held that, bring out written humor and whatnot, I said, you know what, I think this is something that I could do. Yeah, and when we finished school, Kapemba Wenjelani, fun fact, yeah, you know Kapemba, yeah,
Yes.
of Kesa. So Kapemba Wenjelani was trying to start up an item called, what was that, bittersweet comedy. He was doing bittersweet poetry, so he was trying to start out bittersweet comedy. And Abe Ochung was the host for that. Okay. By the way, he was the comedy host, and they invited me to do stand-up comedy. I had never thought of doing stand-up. I had never done stand-up comedy, and when they gave me my 5 minutes, I worked on that set for, I think, a month, trying to prepare it.
Oh, wow.
And when it happened, I never looked back. Like, it just became magic, and from then on, just been on the stand-up comedy journey up until I owned my own comedy label, started Night of Laughter, together with a co-partner of mine, Chinglis, then is now doing great things in that space. And then I evolved into doing my own stuff, and hence the birth of The Zambia Shall Be Shaved. Yeah, you could know along the way, brought in other artists, the Ankansimes, the Tichampamires, and yeah, here we are.
Oh, okay.
A mouthful, I know, but yeah.
It sounds like an amazing journey. And I love that you said that for that 5 minutes that you had on stage, it was a month worth of preparing.
Oh, yes.
Has there ever been, because I'm sure you must have had moments whereby from then on, when you began to do stand-up comedy, whereby you feel like this definitely this joke will kill, like people laugh. Has there been a moment where it went south? People didn't get it, it bombed, and you panicked?
Yeah, like, I mean, it's in every artist's journey, right? It's just like a musician. You'll be in the studio thinking, oh, this hit. Your producer says, this is the one it's going to sell, and then you go out there. So it's happened before. You prepare sets, and then you go out. Because, the funny thing that people don't know about comedy, and if I let me even address this, right? Because
okay.
I get people, saying, oh, that guy, like I see people taking digs at people, saying, no, that guy is not funny and whatnot. Comedy in itself is very subjective. Like, you'd be watching a Trevor Noah today, he'll leave you in stitches, and there'll be someone who'll be looking at Trevor and say, I don't find that guy funny.
True.
Nothing wrong.
I've seen one. I was like, I'm in enemy territory.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So nothing wrong with that. So same thing. So you prepare this joke, and then you go to a certain crowd that does not relate with the joke. Yeah. So again, that's where, with time, you get to learn to say you have to have a lot of back pocket jokes. You have to take a lot of time knowing what kind of audience you are going to work, because one single joke may not work. In fact, it cannot work for every audience. Yeah. So I've had those moments.
Oh my goodness.
Very terrifying moments. Yeah.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
So now, how do you do some study first before, like, maybe finding out if I'm going to a certain comedy show? Do I first know the crowd that's coming, the demographic? Does that then dictate the jokes you say, or is it as you're on stage, as you rather say jokes, and those are the feelers of saying this makes people laugh more, or this makes people tense up?
Yeah, so a mix of both. So obviously there's a lot of preparation. You have to prepare every time. Say I'm hired to do a show. I think just a few weeks back, I was hired to perform a comedy set at the Zambia Tourism Awards. So my team and I had to dig into what's the profile of guests that come for these Tourism Excellency Awards. You need to get in there. You need to know who exactly then, because comedy is more, it's an expression, right? Like, it's intimate. Comedy should be relatable. Yeah, so you obviously have these jokes which can fit into any setting, but then you also have to have situational comedy. Those that know me are more of I just exaggerate stuff. Like, that's my comedy. Like, my comedy it's low-key storytelling, but not so much of a long story. It will have its punchlines within the way, but then it's more exaggerated expression. So for me to exaggerate that expression, I need to know what relates with you. Yeah, so we do quite a lot of that. And just to let you know, I'll give you an example. Doing the Zambia Shall Be Shaved, that was a 5-6 man team, sitting, just writing and creating those jokes. So it's not like you just wake up and say, oh, I'm going to be, So there's a lot of preps, a lot of rehearsing. We also rehearse, yes.
Sure.
Yeah, for a comedy show, you have to rehearse. It's work. For a 1 hour set, we did that preparation for over 3-4 months. Yeah, so it's
just to make us laugh.
Oh yes.
Oh my goodness.
Yes. Oh yes.
Okay.
Yes.
But have you ever had a moment whereby the crowd hasn't laughed and you're like, you were just being difficult here? I know this was funny.
Well. So maybe at the start of my career, but then I can't recall something more recent. Why? Because like I say, as you grow, I think what helps me also is I actually come from the artistic background. I've done stage comedy before, so stage teaches you a lot of improvising. If you're a sketch comedian, you can get something on the go and hit, right? So I think that's what saves me. So even in a time where I'm on a stage and I'm getting that what I prepared is about to bomb, I can easily pick something from the audience and then get it going. So that saves me. Yeah, it's not everyone who can do it. I know people like Bob Mukosha who are amazing at that. You know, he'll just look at you in the audience. The late bright Sakala didn't need a script. You just walk into this place and look at that flower and make a joke about the flower. Yeah, so you pick such things from people, and that's what saves me on the stage. Yeah.
Well, your comedy really touches every Zambian life, and most of the things that you also do on social media. So how intentional are you about reflecting society through humor? And like I earlier on said in my preamble that sometimes people are inspired by traumatic events, frustration, or probably by observing people, they'll make a joke of what you just did and it will be very funny.
Yeah, so intentional, I'm very intentional, and it comes from observation, of course. So one of the things that I think helps me...
You don't have any traumatic story to tell us?
It's already fun and low-key traumatic growing around two artists, what I mean? So you pick that from that, and maybe also... I always like to refer for a very huge bit of my childhood. I had a space where my parents were pursuing further education, so I'd be home alone for some time. By home, I mean alone, parents out of town, and you're with your elder brother who's also going to school, and so maybe 3 months, they're doing 2 months alone. So what that then does, it leaves you to self. Okay, so because comedy starts with communicating with yourself. This is why they say a lot of people who do comedy. Comedians, we're crazy people. Like, get into our minds. It's crazy. So those moments really help me begin to talk to myself. So when you talk to yourself and then say, this is funny, you put it out there. Again, to give you proof of intentional, I'm a keen follower of what happens around me. I'm deep into the politics around me. I'm deep into the social norms around me. At some point, I was running a page called The Toilet Seat. I think it was the advent of what people are doing now, social media commentary. I think when it was not fashionable to do social media commentary down in 2015, 16, I was taking on serious issues like, the politics of that time. So I've always had the knack. But then I realized that, instead of just doing it on Facebook, why can't I package this now into stand-up comedy? So my comedy now, I think if you came for my show, you'll not. It's not just about making jokes. Yeah, I have to share a message, like I have to talk about something, I have to correct something in my society because I think this voice is not for nothing. It has to speak for something,
I've always wanted to ask this question to a person of comedy. I've seen certain comedians who wear, I would say, outfits. They perform sketches in them, and usually probably imitating a woman. And sometimes it gets a lot of backlash, because I remember there was a conversation on X. There was one comedian who was indeed funny from Nigeria, and people were like, you know what, I think a lot of Nigerians would learn so much from this man that you don't need to put on a costume to be funny.
Yes, so about that, my simple answer to that is, again, comedy is subjective, right? If we go to the real definition of comedy, so comedy is just someone who does an act with the intention to make the other person laugh. It gets professional when you do an act to make someone laugh and hope that they pay you back.
Yes.
So in its simplest term, anything can qualify to be comedy. If I'm good at doing backflips, and as I do backflips, people laugh, that can qualify to be comedy. If I can do silly songs, for example, and, you know, so it's a very deep conversation. I'm very passionate about it. So the person who's wearing a costume, that's also a segment of comedy. It relates more with what we call slapstick comedy, where you have to, like, it's more of expression, you dress up, you do your thing. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing. But then the problem that's there is, as people, as consumers of comedy, we feel we can dictate exactly what kind of comedy someone wants to do. Because what's funny is you find that much as people will be talking down those guys who are wearing dresses, there's a huge community that love them. Let's take Tyler Perry, for example, right? He made his living
From
off Medea.
Yes.
But then it's not everyone who relates with Medea. Others think, no, why is he wearing a dress? But that Medea built him whatever he's doing right now. We have our own case, the legend, Bob Nkosha, with Dorica. Amazing character. You can't just wake up, because I challenge them. Wear a dress and see if you'll be funny. So it's not just about wearing a dress, right? You have to have content behind that and do that. So my quick reaction to that would be, if wearing a dress works for them, let them do it. Okay, if they have a crowd that, because at the end of the day, you just have to find a niche, find the crowd that suits you. And as you grow, you go that. I'll tell you, in every artist's journey, even I had a chance where, I mean, coming from secondary school, Unza, you find photos of me on stage at Unza trying to, you know, cross-dress and stuff like that, because at that time, that's the comedy that could relate with my audience. But as I grow, I now say, okay, you know what, I can actually wear a suit and not be animated and still make people laugh. So it's a matter of preference, and I respect anyone who does comedy in whatever form they do it. Yeah.
Now, in your professional setting, apart from doing comedy, you are also a public relations consultant, a creative consultant, communicator as well, and you are an entrepreneur. And I remember there was a time when, as comedians in Zambia, you came together to talk about how sometimes certain industries are very much sidelined in the corners. You know, sometimes it's music, actors, but what about comedians? And I remember when you came together to say, we need comedy to be sustainable at some point, whereby I can do comedy, do shows, and I'll still be okay. But then I've seen that you are doing something else just for you to be who you are at that particular moment and time. So would you say that the journey has started for comedians to be at a place where they can do stand-up comedy and they can make good money out of that?
Yeah, so I'll start with the last question. Journey started, yes. It hasn't started now, because I would think it would be disrespectful to the pioneers of comedy, right? Let's circle back. You have the likes of Thousand.
Yes.
The late Maximo, that was comedy. The Jomwa Msinje Mwales, the late Augustine Lungu. Those, for me, really were the pioneers. They started because those people proved that you can make a living out of comedy. For someone to hire you and give you a slot on TV and you're living off that, the Ben Kangwas. Right now you have the Ozias, Kaundula, Bandas. The Ben Kangwa, there's a legend, Ben Kangwa, who was at one point the personal comedian for, is it the Uganda president or something? He's behind taking comedy into Uganda. The Bobunkosas who've done international tours, the Chiweka Teves, Dangerous Joe Beggs. You know, I have these in my head, like they keep flashing as I talk. So the journey started a long time, okay, but then for most part, it was done as a hobby. Okay, so these people that I've mentioned are the ones who now started really seeing things off it. I'm glad to note that these guys are living their best lives. Bob Mukosha has a studio, his properties, Roger Scoundula has a successful business. From comedy. Their children have gone to the best schools and whatnot. And it's that realization that brought us, so I call us more of middle to new age comedians, right? Because we've been at this thing from as far back as 2012. So we saw an opportunity to make people realize that beyond this just being a talent, you can get something out of it. Take me, for example, I was just doing things for fun. And then, boom, you can make money. Someone pays me for my first MC gig. I'm like, oh, what? You mean I can just stand and get paid? And then it takes you 4 years to realize that, if that money you get paid, if you invest, you can actually build a house out of it and then another and do that and that. So the intention now is to try and professionalize comedy. This is why you've seen us place much emphasis on our association. We have the Comedian Association of Zambia, an association of which I'm the current president, and serving my second term now, 2 years on the clock. And what we've just gone out to do is to, first of all, give comedians a home, make them realize there's nothing crazy about them. They're very normal people, and that it's possible to make this a professional space. And what we are seeing now, I'm sure you're able to see the results. We have now our comedians being called out of the country for performances. African Joker was moving around Africa. I actually didn't know that he was our very own.
Yes. Like, what do you mean is that?
You see that? Yeah, you have your Ndinemas doing this, your Bateros coming through. Not to say we are trying to claim like their success. We're not claiming their success, no, but what we're just saying is the doors have opened so much that everyone is now comfortable enough to do comedy and making serious, crazy stuff out of it. So yeah, that's the path. We're trying to make it very deliberate that you can make it out of comedy.
Okay. So now looking at the Zambian comedic landscape and then now comparing it to the West, whereby I think especially within the last couple of years, we've seen how a number of comedians are getting cancelled. People are no longer going to their shows because they made a joke that people rather either beat the ones that were in the audience or those who are watching the video later on said that was insensitive. Is Zambia going in that direction at the moment, whereby you find that the crowd or even people on social media, after you've posted, a clip of something that you think this is really funny, and later on you're being told that is extremely insensitive, that is offensive, I'm never coming to your show again, I'm never interacting with your work. Is Zambia going in that direction, or are we more relaxed?
No, I think we're already there. Like low-key. I think Zambia is already low-key cancelling not only comedians but other people. I'm sure. Again, it comes with social media. Social media has been a blessing and a curse, right? A blessing in the sense that for once you have got a platform where you can put out. The biggest challenge being a comedian growing up was how to let people know that you're actually a comedian. Like we would struggle, some of us were lucky you had your Unza population, you would, do your jokes and they pick it. But now I think of that guy in the street, no phone, no publicity, and then he's damn funny, right? But now social media comes in, very good for those who have talented, and please mark my word on this, I say, okay, an amazing tool for those that actually have talent, and we've seen them excel. But then the same social media can make you blow up by just saying something silly or just making a mistake. Like you could be, we've seen people get viral for maybe just a comment they said. And the sad bit is most of these people don't get to realize that they are getting funny because of that comment they made. So now they want to sustain that moment of glory by now doing all manner of stuff. So now coming to the counseling side of it, yes, in the beginning it was all fun and games. People wanted anything they can see on social media. But people are now beginning to see, right? Because check, we have got kids on these platforms. Yes. We've got friends, relatives. So as we watch things, we're always thinking, would my kid be comfortable watching this? Okay, or does this sit well with my religious? People are now woke, right? People now know what's right and wrong. You can't just stand and say, hey, this is wrong or this and that. So because of that, I think Zambia is already getting to the cancel culture thing. And this would also be an appeal from me to fellow creatives to say, yes, it's easy to make people laugh. I always tell people that if I wanted to be a 1 million or 2 million plus comedian, I would easily do it. Just give me a week do something silly, and I know people relate a lot with something silly. It's actually harder work to do clean stuff and stuff that I respect people who've gained. I always say this, I respect the legends, right? Your Bob Nkosha does not have presence on social media the way we do, but he's Bob Nkosha.
Yes.
You're not going to fault him for that, yeah. So because of this, I'm saying we now need to get to a point where we're careful what we're talking about. What are the issues surrounding us? You can't be insensitive around gender issues now. You can't be insensitive around, gender-based violence and whatnot, protecting the girl child. I'm a low-key feminist myself because I believe, not even low-key, high-key actually, because I believe the strictest sense of feminism is a very healthy thing. So you just can't get there and talk about someone's ability or disability and just curse around. Zambia is a Christian nation, so you have to know your setting. It's fun and games. While people are clapping, you come, you insult, you gain likes. Then people one day will wake up and say, but what do I get from this? I'm always just getting insulted and stuff like that, yeah? So yes, we are there. I think we are there.
So then,
and Zambians will cancel. Yeah, they'll cancel you.
But then to play devil's advocate, especially for those who are fans of cancelled comedians in America, they say, but then aren't you stifling your creative freedom as a comedian? Because they're just pointing out what is in society and adding humor to it.
But then that's what I'm saying. Like, it's a very tricky space. Like art, yes, art in itself is an expression. And artists, we are protected because we can talk about anything, right? The unfortunate bit is we don't have control about how people react to that anything we talk about. So again, it goes back to the artist. What's your true intention as an artist? Others are okay with just having attention, so that they won't really care whether they are cancelled or not, because we always say in marketing there's no such thing as bad publicity. So as people are talking you down, your brand is growing and whatnot. If that's your motive, it works. It's fine. But there are those who do conscious stuff, like they want their stuff to relate with their audience. Those need to be careful. There's some of us who are trying to brand ourselves more on the corporate side of it, right? So I'm careful. I won't just come out there and do anything because I know it will ruin some of the endorsements I have with my partner, with my clients, because there's stipulated stuff, there's things I can't do in the public. So again, it gets back to subjectivity of comedy. I think everything around comedy, any argument around it comes down to it being subjective. You're not stifling them, no? It's just them knowing. You can't go to, what example can I give? Like, you won't go to a Muslim state, for example, right? And then say, oh, because I'm a comedian, I can say anything. Then you start disrespecting what those people believe in, That's wrong. That's not humor. That's being insensitive. Or you won't go to a certain cultural setting. You know that these people don't like wearing black, for example. And no, because I'm a comedian and they have to fit in, they'll cancel you. And you won't get paid. Yeah, at the end of the day, yeah.
I have seen comedians who really, really do not care about the settings of where they are in. They will say things as they are, and people love them for that. Like, we just love you for whatever you do at the end of the day. But now, circling back to it being a whole, I would say, business. I remember there was a time when an artist, Slap D, said music is business, and he got backlash over that. And also, I think comedy is business as well.
It is business.
You did say that you later on discovered that you can get paid for making people laugh. Now, what are some of the biggest financial or business challenges you have faced as a comedian in Zambia?
Okay, so I'll speak broadly from just the general comedy sense. So now this is me wearing a cap of being the association president.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think the biggest challenge first starts from within ourselves as artists. Yeah, and I'm not one to go out and say, no, sponsors. No, before I get to the sponsors, me as an artist, the biggest challenge is there's no deliberate intention to get financial literacy, which is the cornerstone. Like you are doing a business, right? So look at it as opening a shop or something. For you to do that, you need to have your accounts right. You need to have your ZRA things in place. You need to have your insurance and whatnot. So that's the starting point. For me to excel in the comedy space, the first thing is I have to get my basics right. I have to get my numbers right. If possible, let me hire an accounting consultant. Let me hire a manager, because without these, we are messed up. Imagine I'm a comedian, brilliant, talented. If I don't have a manager who's taking care of my seju, who's putting my brand out there, there'll be no money to talk about. So that's challenge number one. Challenge number two, I could say, I still think comedy is a young industry. It's been young for some time. I think that's where the second challenge comes in. So it's taken this much time for people to earn as much as they are earning now. So I would say that is not too much of anyone's problem. It's just a timing problem. That's where we are. Comedy has been growing slowly, and we are now beginning to see cases where someone can walk away with money that they do one gig and they can sort themselves out for the next 6 months or something like that, right? So that's just been a timing issue. And broadly, I think the world is now, and I'm not limiting it to Zambia, I'm happy that the world now begins to realize that humor sells. Back then, sex used to sell. Yeah, and I'm not, I hope there are no sensitive listeners. It's just sex, guys. Back then, sex used to sell. It does still sell right now, yeah? But now you realize that humor sells. I'll give you, let us go to any movie right now, any blockbuster movie that's coming out. They'll each have a funny moment. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like your Fast and Furious, your Avatars, there's just something funny that you have to have. Your adverts, the biggest selling ads out there, it's humor. So I'm happy that even Zambia has gotten to that space, because your biggest companies now are embracing comedians. Your Trade Kings have done amazing stuff. Your this and that, not to market anyone on the show, but then brands are beginning to accept comedy. So I just think it's a journey. Yeah, so it's just patience, really. I won't blame anyone for any challenge, but I'll blame the artists. It's investment. Are you doing financial literacy? Have you gone to school to even train comedy? Even in Honda's arts, have you gone to study art? Okay, what have you invested in your thing? Have you done another language, you go and do Chinese, start cracking jokes for the Chinese people. How much are you investing in yourself? For me, that's what I'll pinpoint. Before I look at everyone else, the biggest challenge has been artists not seeing the need to invest in themselves, but wanting huge returns at the end of it. Or I'm sure cases are there to see. Those that you've seen investment in, they're living their best lives right now. Yeah.
There was a story. I've been a keen follower of Dave Chappelle, where he talked about he used to do a sketch on Comedy Central, and unfortunately things went on behind the scenes. He got offered $50 million and he walked away from that. And that's a story that he said, I will be breaking it down from time to time. And from what I've gathered, he said, with what he was offered didn't align with his personal principles. Has there been a time that you were offered huge amounts of money to perform for something or to do something, but it just didn't align with what you were pushing your agenda as a creative artist?
Yeah, numerous times, really. So, as a budding comedian, it goes back as far back as the toilet seat days. Toilet seat, you guys, was a hit on social media. Like, everyone wanted to plug in an advert and do things like that.
I remember that.
And as far back as then, you'd get offers to market different brands. But then, like you said, just from the onset, there are certain principles that I've grown with that define me and can never depart from those. I would even break them down for you guys right now. So for me, for example, not that I have anything against it. I don't take alcohol, so I can never do an activation with an alcoholic brand, because that's just me. No disrespect to anyone who does alcohol. I don't smoke, so obviously that as well. There's other things, the sensitive things like maybe gambling. No issues with people that gamble. I work in the financial space. I'm a banker by profession. So there's certain things that I just can't align with, right? So opportunities have come. But then before getting an opportunity, I need to check if this sits well with my brand. I do family-friendly content, right? So I'm not going to obviously do something that's obscene, even though it pays. So someone wants me to do something obscene, even though it pays, I won't do that. I don't align my brand to politics. So no matter how much you're going to splash, I say, oh no, can you do? No, that's
and this
just
is the year.
It's a year
to make money.
Again, no disrespect to anyone. It's just my principle, and it's just how my team and I have crafted my brand. So we stay away from those issues. We don't want to pit religions against each other. So there's just certain things, and you find that even as you attend my comedy shows, I'm very silent about certain things. I'm not dramatic in that sense. So yes, to answer your question, I've had chances to make a bag, 2 more bags, 100,000 more bags to do something. But if it doesn't align with my brand, I'll respectively decline and would not go out, try to, I don't splash to say, oh, this company can, no. It's just my principle and we keep it like that.
Just to follow up on that, has there also been a time where you've been labeled probably difficult, maybe to work with? Say, he says no to a lot of things. Maybe he won't accept this.
A few times. A few times. Those that work with me know there are things that I value time a lot. I value professionalism. So when I'm in a setting where I feel the professionalism is being disrespected, time is being disrespected, my values being disrespected, again, I'll respectively choose to want to walk away. There's very few times, though, that we've gotten to a part where we do that because, again, thankfully, most people that approach me, I think, do it while understanding what the brand stands for. So I rarely get the noise. By noise, I mean the bookings that are outside my reach. I don't think I'm a very difficult person to work with. Yeah, like I'm an easy... I feel.
It's subjective. It depends.
Let me not blow my trumpet that much, but I think I'm an easy person to work with because I'm a people's person. I communicate for a living, so communication is my thing. So yeah, in a few instances, when especially time, I think clients that would say we had that issue, I think time is involved. Time has been the biggest issue. I'll give examples. You have an event, you had to show up at 17. I always show up an hour early. Okay, so you show up at 16 because you're respecting the time. 17 clients show up at 20. Sure. So you can imagine Zambian time and 4 hours. But then without communication, without disregard. So already that already messes up the artistry because, art, it's about your vibe, it's about your feelings. So by the time you're getting there, you're flat. Yeah, then the client maybe will even come to know. But then I say, guys, we're late. We have to compress a program which was supposed to be 4 hours into an hour. So I'm not going to go out there and go all out and stuff. So I think time has been my biggest issue around any issue. But that's not too many instances. Maybe 3-4 cases or so. Yeah.
Okay. And now taking a different avenue, and that's MCing. I would say, when was the first time somebody approached you to MC a wedding, first of all? Because I'm sure that must have been, because it's a big day for them. They'll remember it. Yeah. And should you say a joke that will leave just a very bad taste? Isn't it a bit iffy having to do a wedding? No, as compared to like a corporate event, at least.
Yeah, look, a wedding is crazy. So my first ever MC gig, I should have been in third year at UNZA.
Wow. Sure.
Yeah, I should have been in third year at UNZA, and then our sports and recreation coordinator, Mr. Shimbi, is still at UNZA. He asked me to host what would term UNZA's biggest calendar event. That's the Sports and Recreation Awards. Yeah, so I've never done it, but because I was doing comedy and I was around doing sketches, I tried, spent a lot of time researching, doing this. I did it with my friend Alec Flo. Alec was a DJ at UNZA Radio and a fellow comedian. We stepped on the stage the very first time together. Then for weddings, there's a friend of mine, Charlie the engineer. I think he does Zambian politics aside on social media. Charlie was a comedian, an intake head, and he started MCing way before we did. So excitedly, Charlie came and got me and my friend and said, guys, there's money that I make every weekend by just going to entertain people at weddings, and I want you to just come and watch what I do. I think it's easy. Just come and watch. So we went with my colleague again, Alec. We saw Charlie MC a wedding, and just that, like my introduction to wedding MCing was me sitting and watching Charlie MC a wedding. And I said, you know what, Charlie is for real. We can do this. And as luck may have it, I got my first booking from someone we were at UNZA with. So it just made them, like how do you make a mistake of asking if I can MC a wedding after I've watched Charlie perform?
Yes.
So my first wedding was in Kafue.
Sure.
As a student, and I still remember my first payment was a 500 kwacha.
Wow.
As a student. I remember getting on, from campus, you get on a bus, you go to downtown. I got on a van. Yes, like a van, took a few with my first suit. Was I'd already bought a suit for my graduation. Like I saved up, I had this suit. This suit will show up everywhere. And I did my first job. 500 kwacha then started increasing, and most of my clients came from that. So the next clients came from that same wedding.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, you were at that wedding. And so with recommendation, things would come. But like I tell you, it was never serious, right? Yeah, like I'll just take a weekend thing, you go and party with friends. Guys, it's like a free 500. It grows to like a top in, before you know it, we're where we are. So, yeah.
Where are we right now?
No, Zedara is listening. Very careful.
So, if you speak to those who do like photography, videography for weddings, they say that if there's ever a gig I don't want to get, it's for those who are doing a wedding. That's because once they get married, they forget that they even hired you. If they owe you money, your money is gone. Is that true? Have you ever had to chase down a couple to say, I MC'd for X amount of hours, where's my money?
A lot of times. Yes, it was a learning curve. So, when you are starting, you don't even understand you need to do a contract. Someone calls you, then they'll say they'll pay you after the event, and like they have said, it's not just individuals. There's corporates. Like up to now, I have corporates that owe me money. Yeah. Because
would you like to name them now?
No. We're not naming and shaming. I'll just find one of these funny Facebook pages and just slide to say, please hide my identity. Yeah, so I've had such cases, but then as you grow on, you realize that it's business, right? So it's now on contract. So if you're going to hire me for an event, we fill up a contract, and that contract is enforceable. So if you don't pay me, I take action. The same way that if I don't show up, because it's a two-way thing, right? The contract is two-way. I've got an obligation to make sure I show up, I do the job, and if I don't meet the job based on your expectations, I'll be more than happy to refund you. Yeah, I've done I'll do that before. I've done that before. There's one client who, it was a wedding, they delayed, and we had a very agreed set time. So they delayed to come in. And out of respect, what I did is I got another MC because I knew that I was committed beyond the certain time, and we communicated it clearly. So I brought another MC to do the rest of it. But the client was, no, we didn't pay for we didn't have this one. So I had to pay them back, but still paid the person that came to do that, because that's how much I respect my brand, right? If you have hired me to do a job, even if you mess up on your end, I'll try by all means to make sure you meet halfway. Yeah, you meet halfway, and you won't have to suffer. So I've done that before, but it's not something. I think just once. Yeah, that's something like that has happened. But going deep into it, the contracts now say we're odd, man. If I sit now and see how many people have just bought it, and some even give you the gas, but you were just talking. Okay. Well, but did we know I was just going to be talking before we agreed on the amount? But you're just talking. Give us time. What? 2 months, 3 months, give us time, then you realize you've been scammed. Yeah, so it's happened before. But and it's a warning actually to every artist listening to this. A contract, very, very important. A manager, have your manager, let your manager sort out that as an artist you don't want to get into this issue internally, because you say something bad and the client says, can't if you have so you protect yourself by just creating a very professional bubble around you.
Oh my goodness. And not saying that you must mention the couple, has there ever been a wedding where you've attended and from what you've observed you're thinking this couple won't last? No, I'm not saying, but just you don't need to mention them.
No, for the sake
you
of
just
my
go from the wedding like
no, for the sake of my clients. I'll be breaching contracts because
you can just
chances are very high that if you have maybe divorced already. So if I say that, I'll go, maybe it's me talking about. But you
have to work though.
But in my defense, really, maybe it also goes with my professional ethics. My clients will tell you, I drew it down strictly to business. Like I don't want to really get consumed into, so that's why even my contract limits the amount of time I spend interacting with these people. So I think I missed that chance to
really 2 weeks. I give it 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Now, moving to social media, there is a huge conversation. I feel like comedians really are attacked most of the time. They're calling you not funny, you do too much, your jokes are dry. You're called so many names most of the times, especially now that social media is very vast, it's available. You can build an account, you can grow a page, and you're famous. But then there's also a difference between skit makers and comedians, which is very huge. Maybe you can highlight a few of between comedians and skit makers as well, and how it affects the true comedians. Like you said, some might say something funny, and now they want to sustain that fame, and they want to now start doing too much. Now there, we can say, probably we can classify them as a skit maker there. Now they start making skits to make us laugh.
Okay, so how do I answer this? This is a very interesting question, right? But then it will have a lot of answers to it. So a skit artist can be a comedian.
Okay,
so,
they're not different.
So skit is actually a type of comedy. So doing comedy, you can either do stand-up comedy, you can do skit comedy, slapstick, dress up, you can do commentary, you can storytell, you can sing, you can write. There's also written comedy. So skit comedy is just a part of comedy, right? But then I feel where people miss it is failing to identify what works for them. So not every skit comedian is able to do stand-up comedy. In the same way, it's not every stand-up comedian that should do skit comedy. This even goes, I think if you even take this, it goes into master of ceremony and whatnot. Not every master of ceremony is supposed to be a comedian. In fact, you don't even need to be a comedian to be a master of ceremony. I don't do master of ceremony because I'm a comedian. I'm a master of ceremony, but it so happens I'm a comedian, so it's a plus. If you hire me, you know that I'll do humor effortlessly, not that I plan to do humor, right? So there shouldn't be pressure for one to know comedy. And in the same way, it's not every comedian that should end up master of ceremony. I'm breaking this down to maybe try and close the debate by saying the biggest challenge sometimes is us as artists. I'll start from us as artists. We don't invest in knowing our strength. And in not knowing your strength, you want to do everything. It's like football. You can't be a footballer and say, I'm going to be a goalkeeper and the midfielder and the whatnot and the referee and the linesman. No, you need to know what works for you in the football space. Same with music. There's very few musicians that have really, I think maybe off my mind is like an R. Kelly who's flipped genres and has been good about it. But there's those that say, I'm dancehall. So dancehall is my thing. I'm rock, I'm pop, I'm this. So same thing applies with comedy. So it starts with understanding it as an art, right? But then also, let me flip on to the audience side. Sometimes the audience gets a bit too harsh with these guys, right? Because like I said, it is subjective. So you realize that even those that they may term, this is a dry comedian, right? Go to their page, this guy is flipping 1 million people. But then there's you somewhere at home with your problems. And you are calling this guy dry. But there's one, you know what I mean? So yeah, no, sorry, I had to take that jibe. Because I feel people, so social media is toxic. People want to project themselves on other people, and I see it's not just comedy. Someone would do a good show, this is a flop. Someone has spent time working on this, I draw that piece of art, that's trash. Like you just seated somewhere in a cocoon. You can't even hold the pen to write a script or do that, you know what I mean? So I feel as audiences sometimes we judge these people harshly by not just respecting the fact that what they are doing works for the people that they do. I say this as a comedian who's had a fair share of the highlights and lowlights. In my comedy career, my friends will tell you, there's a time we did the comedy show, we marketed, and it was at Technical, marketed, and only 6 people showed up, okay? But then we saw those 6 people as gold, you know what I mean? Like, not gold as mulung, but gold. Because we're like, if 6 people can take their time to buy a ticket and come out, and one of the people in the audience then was actually Makitu, we performed our hearts out. like we were performing to a full audience. I'm saying this so that maybe it can stick to someone out there, right? When you do stuff, don't do it for to be appreciated and whatnot. No, the starting point is you do comedy because you love to do comedy. If no one's watching, it's fine. If one person is watching, treat that person like the 1 million people you want to see. If 1 million people come, that's okay, but that should not mean anything. So it starts with self. So I hope I'm doing a good job breaking it down. I wanted to bring it from the artist side and from the audience side. So from the artist side, 2 aspects. You need to know why you are doing this. I'm not going to start comedy today because I want to blow. That's a very wrong reason to start comedy. Don't do it. Don't do art because you want to be famous. No, that's a very wrong reason to do art. Do art because you love it. The success, the money, the what are just consequences of what. It's like going to school, right? I don't go to grade 1 because I want to be rich. No, I want to be equipped with the tools that can help me survive. Then if the wealth comes, at least I can count it because I've been to school. I can bank it because I've done that. Same with art. If today you are thinking of going online because you want to blow up, don't even do it. Like it's a wrong reason, yeah.
So now, do you believe Zambians take the comedic industry seriously, or it's just entertainment for a lot of them?
Well, I think they are now taking it seriously. Yeah, you look at how many comedians. I always say I'm in charge of an association that has real influence because my members are booked for live gigs. They are busy. Comedians are busy right now. They are busy. If they are not doing live gigs, they are in film. They are creating content. They are marketing. I think every brand ambassador gig around here has a comedian on it. The betting guys, the alcohol brands, anyone around, just go. Your fast movers goods, your telecoms. There's a comedy. Look at how big you had your those social media awards.
Yes.
But which award had the limelight? You know what I mean? Like it's a comedian. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I don't think people don't take comedy serious now. They take it serious. For 1,000 people to show up at my show, me, Mwanachingwala, that means people are serious. They leave home to come and watch a show and pay up to 500 kwacha for a ticket. It means people are getting serious. So yeah, comedy now is being taken serious, and I think we're on the right trajectory.
So just take us a little bit back to Zambia Shall Be Shaved. How did you come up with the name? And for you doing stand-up comedy, how was it? Because I've seen how stand-up comedy is received in Zambia. It isn't received with wide arms most of the time. There's always scrutiny. The jokes were dry. That didn't land. Oh, no, we have a long way to go. So how was it for you?
Okay, so how it was amazing. Yeah, like what people saw in 1 hour was a result, like I said, of 3-4 months preparation, nights, breaking nights, writing scripts, tearing scripts, getting into thing. I had to travel around. I had to go back to my hometown, Chipata. Went to my secondary school just to get in touch with my roots and just get there. That's how deep it got, right? So what people saw in my 1 hour set was a mix of a lot of experiences and emotions. And I'm very lucky, should I say, that it landed. The feedback I got was amazing. I've gotten a lot of gigs off that. I have sponsors who now want to do the second edition of the Zambia Shall Be Shaved comedy show. I have people who are pushing me to try and tour the Zambia Shall Be Shaved comedy show. Others even say, you know what, let's try and step out of Zambia a bit. Maybe let's package it. If you came, it was relatable. We had mixed races there, and they loved it. I'm doing well now. The Indian community, I'm getting gigs there. I'm doing that.
Okay.
So you, for answering your question, it was amazing. It was amazing. The feedback, you get a hit on Slap D's pages. This is Slap D, like this is the Slap D. Like this is my, and then he goes all out and says how he found this amazing. The corporate guys, the who's and who's in the corporate space think you are amazing. So that's to answer how it was. I think for me in a nutshell, it was amazing. Amazing not only for the comedy side of it, but there was a lot of growth, not only for my part, but everyone who was on the team. There was people doing PR for my team. They're now doing big things out there. There's people who are coordinating, who are doing that there. So to judge how successful a show is beyond how many laughs you got. It's more of how many lives have you impacted, right? I'm glad that before the music club closed, to get the owners to come back and say, this is pretty much the first time a Zambian comedy show is filling up this place. Like, why first time? Because it's not like we had a lot of comedians, so just me on stage with my host, Bush, an amazing guy, and backed by the band and one other person. So to get that, we had, when doing the show, we were scared. We had the temptation of I can say this now, like, for example, Ann Kansimi was, okay, can I come and open? She's a friend. I brought her. He said, like, you know what, just in case you have pressure, you're not sure about numbers, I can fly in and I can open for you. And I know people will come because Ann Kansimi is coming. And we were about to take that call until my team sat and said, you know what, let's test the waters.
We can do
this. Let's try and see. We want to see how strong the Mwanachingwala brand is. Can the Mwanachingwala brand pull people in? And my director, Tobias, said, you know what, we're going to do it. Why can we bring in this musician and what? No, let's see you. If we fail, then we know I've got work to do on your brand. But we do that. And people turned up. So that was a success on that end. The other question that you asked me was, so you asked me how the show was, and you asked me where the name for Zambia Shall Be Shaved. So Zambia Shall Be Shaved was just a satirical name. We were looking for a name that would depict my being bored, right? So we're just throwing things on the table, in the creative session with my team, bored and beautiful, this and that, but then it was not working. But then we just thought of the Zambia Shall Be Shaved bit because Jomam Augustine Lungu the late, whenever he would host like the Ngoma Awards or whatnot, and someone comes in with an afro, he actually used to say Zambia shall be shaved. So we got that inspiration from there, and we saw that it fitted in with a satire, and we also saw that it had an already controversial thing that would bring to it, because there was already Zambia Shall Be Saved, right? Yeah, so we thought of Zambia Shall Be Saved afterwards, like it was an afterthought. Oh, Zambia Shall Be Shaved. So it's good because people will think we got it from Zambia Shall Be Saved when there was nothing. And to see Dr. Nevas Mumba posts Zambia Shall Be Shaved was like, guys, it's a hit. People are going to come for this show. And that's how we got there. Yeah.
That's amazing. I love that you touched on how Ann Kansimi was willing to come and actually be the opening act. Yep. And that level of support is incredible. And now looking at female comedians in Zambia, are they growing? Are many more jumping on, especially coming from the association end of things?
Yeah, so we have female comedians coming in. Are we doing the most? No. I think we can do better. I think those that I talk to will tell you that I'm very passionate about seeing more female comedians come in. We have them there, a handful, but we are now going to be deliberate. We are now being deliberate about doing that. And just to tell you how passionate I am about female comedy shows, about 4 years back, I did an all-women show at Cresta Gotv. Yeah, it was an all-women lineup. I remember then we even had, supporting the women, we had Wezi sing, Esther Chungu sing, I think Tisa the trendsetter was the host then. So it's something that I've carried for some time, and I'm happy to see people are coming. I'm sure if you watch the Ngoma Awards, you had like one of Zambia's best female comedians, Gabi, take stage. Like, she just blew up to now. You ask people about Ngoma Awards, they still talk of Gabi, and for me, it brings me genuine happiness to see that we are getting somewhere. Deliberately, what we've also done as an association, if you've noticed, the past 3 years, we fought hard to introduce the Best Female Stand-Up Comedian Award. And the whole reason behind that was to encourage female to do comedy, because there's an award at the end. There's a whole Ngoma Award. And I'm glad Gabi is one of the people who won that award. Shekinah from the Copper Belt. So you see now what's happening. We're having people coming in from all over, but we're not still doing enough. I feel we can do more. Maybe Power FM can partner with us at some point to do an all-female thing.
Right?
And we can
As
be
the
running
hosts
it.
of a female breakfast show.
So I think we can do more, but slowly they're beginning to come up. But we'll get better.
But what would you say are the barriers that you've seen that stop females from actually entering the comedy space? Do people say women are not funny? What is it?
No, it's not even that. I think if you follow, it's just like, you know, we are still... We should not lie to say we have really gotten the right gender balance. It's everywhere. Like, it's still everywhere. You know, it's in almost every space. Women CEOs, it's now that we are seeing a lot of women really, you know, coming up and do the CEO thing. So it's just, for me, it's just a timing gap, right? We just need to support them more. Okay, they are brilliant. They are amazing. I don't even think there's anything. I don't think there's any edge I have over any female comedian. They're just as good, if not even better than me, right? But then do we give them enough platforms, okay? Or do we do the same silly stuff for me to give you a slot on my show? Can I get a favor in return? You know, it's just silly things like that. So we just need to be very deliberate in a male-dominated space. We need to be deliberate in encouraging these people, supporting them, holding their hands. When they're doing a show, go all out for them, be with them and let them shine. Because as men, sometimes we also want to steal the shine. You have an all-female show, but at the end of the day, it's your face that will know. If I want to show the world I didn't. Oh, no. Let the women enjoy their shine. They did it. Let them feel good about it. You are in the background. Yes, we are happy for you, but let them shine. So the barrier has just been us being more deliberate. But I'm happy we're doing it now. We're getting there. And I can tell you, you'll see how things will be unfolding even as we go into this year. We may not be the ones to get the best participation of women, but I'll be a happy man knowing I played the part to be one of those that started deliberately pushing this agenda. And we have people like Gotv who have done amazing stuff trying to bring female comedians. I knew the likes of Vubwi through Gotv. Vubwi was still at Rusangu University when she picked me and her, and we went to Rusangu to do a show. And he's found other amazing female comedians. The legends have done that. So we'll just pick up from where they started and take it there. Yeah.
But apart from Vubwi, who has been very impactful with what she does, she's very funny and very sweet. Can you maybe name drop some of the female comedians that maybe we can now start paying attention to? Because even that, I think there is one of the barriers, I might say from my end as a spectator, is I haven't seen much of their social media presence, because social media helps for you to reach certain areas that people cannot. And if maybe I saw them or a skit or something they did on social media, I would love to see their work, but I don't know much more of them.
Okay, so again, I'll tell you. So as I name drop, let's know that we're classifying them based on their art. So others won't be big on social media because what they do is stand-up comedy. So stand-up comedy does not even require you, like it's just an art like that. So people will pay for the show and they'll love it. I just talked about Gabi, an amazing comedian. We have the likes of Vikacha. Vikacha is a stand-up comedian. I was happy to have been with her at Unza once upon a time. She was a junior. She did, she was a sketch artist, but now she's doing huge things on social media. If you're following social media, Vikacha spent 1 month in Uganda with Anne Kansime just 2 months ago. That's how big, you know, people don't blow this, but that's huge. Where Anne calls you and hosts you for a month, and we do skits together. That's big. Okay, you have Shekinah from the Copper Belt. She's the current Ngoma Awards stand-up comedian of the year. She won this year. There's an amazing lady, Wendy, as well. She's bottling between Copper Belt and Lusaka. Watch out for the name Wendy. She's an amazing stand-up comedian.
I'm going to look them up.
Yeah, so I'm dropping these names. You have your Mtintas, okay, Mtinta Koza, the Tonga girl, she's amazing. We have a ventriloquist, in case you didn't know. Yeah, like we have an amazing female ventriloquist, only that now she's relocated. She's gone to Russia, but she's still ours. We're still going to own her. Then when you come to social media, that's where you now get to see more of your people. Yeah, you have people who are expressing themselves using social media. You have Teresa's, those are our members doing great stuff. Teresa is crazy.
She's funny.
In her own way that she's now a big brand ambassador. You have your Pokeos, your what's this Mundubile? What's this name? This girl, the crazy girl from the Copper Belt she got married just now.
Which one is it? Okay, I think I have the face, but I don't have the name.
How can her name leave me just
Oh my goodness.
like this is someone I love. Like
Oh my goodness.
Rosemary Moore, she plays this character Rosemary Moore.
Oh, Charity Kata.
Yeah.
Like how? Yeah, Cha. These people are doing crazy. Those are crazy guys.
Yes.
You have the Killies who came in there. They're doing it's humor for me, really. As long as it's humor, it works. So there's a lot that we can talk about, but I think we're getting there. Vubwi, although Vubwi now is identifying more as a musician because she's versatile, and I love that for her. But she's one of my favorite people that I've had the chance to work with, and I'm happy for what's happening to her in the music side. Then you also have veterans in there. You have the Manamumbis, those two ladies who do who have Mushimumbi's wives. Those are crazy comedians.
Yes.
Lady Dinus, the veterans, the Dinus from Kabanana. Did you also know that the lady who plays Muiza in Mpali is an amazing comedian?
Really?
Anita
Okay.
Munamonga.
Oh,
those people come from the days of Zambia One comedy. Yeah, so they're there.
Okay.
Yeah. We have Ann Katamanda. I don't know if you know Ann Katamanda. Ann Katamanda was, should have been the mother to the Sosalas or something like that. Okay. Mrs. Sosala in Zuba or something.
Okay.
Yeah, so we have these people and they are comedians.
Well, would love to have this conversation the entire day.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we have to say our goodbyes. But before we leave, one thing that I would want to see as a Zambian is I want to go on Netflix and I want to see a Zambian special. I want to see any of your name. It doesn't matter whoever it is. I want to see a special from a Zambian comedian, and I'm able to click it, and I'll be so proud. That
or even just on SNL, like a whole Zambian.
Thank you very much. And what when people mention the name Mwanachingwala years from now, what do you hope they associate it with? Laughter, impact, or the legacy that you're gonna leave?
So really, when people mention the Mwanachingwala name, I just want them to remember someone who did their bit in putting Zambian art on the map. I think that's what's in my head right now. That's all that's in my head right now. Like, it doesn't have to be me. Yeah, but I want to be part of putting Zambia on the map, comedy, even if it means me being the guy who's doing the wardrobe for the next biggest comedian to be on Netflix. I would be more than glad to do that. So for me, really, and to catch you on your Netflix bit, rest assured, we'll get a Zambian comedy act. It doesn't have to be me. It can be anyone. At least the guys have led the way already. We have, I think, almost 2-3 things happening on Netflix, Zambian things now. So, yeah, you have the...
Mwabi, can you see us?
Yeah. Can you see us? You have the I'm Not a Witch.
Oh, it's on Netflix.
Yeah, I'm Not a Witch was the first thing on Netflix, and you now have that Zambian-oriented cartoon
Super
where you have the K-stars and whatnot as your voiceovers. So, if this has been done, then comedy will also do it.
Amen to that.
Yep. At least you've seen us on Zambezi Magic, at least.
Yes.
At least we have tried. We are already on Zambezi Magic. Let's go through Netflix.
I'm praying for that.
Awesome.
Thank you very much for coming through.
It was a pleasure. I had a lot of fun interacting with you guys.
We did indeed. We were joined in the studio by Cello Mwanachingwala, who began building his profile through stand-up, performing at live shows such as his Zambia Shall Be Shaved. We're hoping for part 2 of that as he tours and outside Zambia as well, as he continue putting in so much work in the comedic industry. This has been Voice of the People. This is a Power Breakfast Show. Continues with Shekinah and Fortrace.
Voice of the People is a dynamic, interactive radio phone show that gives listeners a platform to voice their opinions on current affairs, social issues, and community concerns. With engaging discussions, expert insights, real-time audience participation. Voice of the People.
Every great journey begins with the right travel partner, and that